Imagine zooming down the highway in a high-performance car that not only matches the growl of a gasoline-powered V8, but also reduces fuel consumption and emissions to the level of ambient air. Sounds like a dream, right? Now what if I told you this could be a reality soon, and that the fuel powering this dream machine isn't gasoline or electricity, but hydrogen? Ah, I've caught your attention now, haven't I? Well, don't go anywhere, because we're about to reveal a whole lot more right here on Ignition Life. Porsche has been diligently working on something that could potentially revolutionize petrol engines and ensure their longevity. The question that immediately springs to mind is, didn't the UK and European Union resolve to ban the sale of cars with internal combustion engines from 2035? That's true, they did, but the recent technological development from Porsche is so groundbreaking that regulators responsible for dictating new car sales have performed one of the most dramatic U-turns in automotive history. This sudden shift of opinion is akin to a political power slide. In recent years, it's felt a little as though governments across the globe have declared war on petrol heads. It's perfectly understandable to encourage the purchase of zero-emission vehicles through tax incentives, but numerous countries have already elected to prohibit the sale of petrol and diesel-powered cars entirely. This isn't just a crusade against Lamborghinis and Ferraris with their massive naturally aspirated engines and horsepower exceeding 700. Any car equipped with an internal combustion engine, even budget-friendly vehicles like the new Toyota Prius, are under threat. The genesis of this issue traces back to 2017, when the UK government unveiled plans to ban the sale of cars with petrol and diesel engines post-2040. This shocking news was only the beginning, as the government decided to fast-track the ban by a decade to 2030. Car manufacturers could persist selling plug-in hybrids for a few more years, but by 2035, these vehicles would also have to be phased out. This effectively meant that the only new cars you'd be able to purchase after this date would be battery-powered electric vehicles or cars with hydrogen fuel cells, such as the Toyota Mirai. This legislation wasn't exclusive to UK drivers. The European Union, Canada, and California have also vowed to ban the sale of internal combustion engine cars from 2035. Yet this proposed change posed multiple issues. Firstly, many car manufacturers weren't pleased. Generally, those who run car brands lean towards conservatism, with a few notable exceptions. They're selective about the type of cars they produce, aiming to extract maximum usage and profits from each technological component. Significant players in the industry, including Toyota, expressed concern about investing all their resources into the electric car gamble, especially after investing considerable capital into developing cars with internal combustion engines and advanced hybrid drive systems. In December 2022, Toyota's president, Akio Toyoda, warned that the silent majority was questioning the feasibility of electric vehicles as the sole option. He further insisted on a realistic approach to the ambitious goal of stopping the sale of cars with internal combustion engines by 2035. In all fairness, while Toyota did contribute significantly to popularizing hybrids with the Prius, it didn't launch its first bespoke electric car until the arrival of the BZ4X in 2022. However, Toyota isn't the only manufacturer having second thoughts about the 2035 electric car deadline. BMW, a company with a decade-long history in electric vehicles beginning with the i3 and now boasting an array of EVs including the i4, the iX3, the iX, and the new i7, has also voiced concerns. Even though BMW is about to introduce the new i5, the company's boss recently stated that an all-electric vehicle world could only work given an abundance of renewable energy, a seamless private and public charging infrastructure network, and access to raw materials, and unfortunately these conditions aren't universally fulfilled at present. And so we find ourselves at an impasse, with governments desiring to reduce CO2 emissions from privately owned cars, and some of the world's biggest companies arguing that banning internal combustion engines isn't the best solution. That was until this week, when EU legislators permitted car manufacturers to continue selling cars with internal combustion engines post-2035 on one condition, that they must operate on synthetic fuel. So what is synthetic fuel, and how does it relate to Porsche? Traditional petrol and diesel are derived from oil, a substance extracted from underground, formed from organic material compressed over millions of years. That's why they're known as fossil fuels. In contrast, synthetic fuels are entirely man-made, circumventing the need for drilling oil wells. This technology, conceived approximately 100 years ago, has since been refined and developed by companies like Porsche into e-fuels. E-fuels are significant because they have the power to potentially convert any car with an internal combustion engine into a carbon-neutral vehicle. Okay, picture this. Just imagine driving a 911 Turbo S, accelerating from 0 to 60 miles an hour in less than 2.6 seconds and emitting net zero carbon dioxide the entire time. It might sound far-fetched, but it's possible thanks to e-fuels. These synthetic fuels are made by capturing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere or waste from factories. This CO2 is then combined with hydrogen produced from water using renewable energy in a process known as electrolysis. The resulting methanol can be refined into petrol, which can be burnt in a conventional internal combustion engine without any modifications. This innovative technology is currently being tested by Porsche using its car range, and the company is also collaborating with ExxonMobil to produce racing fuel for 911 GT3 race cars participating in the Mobile One Super Cup. This process can also be used to produce synthetic diesel, which could power commercial vehicles or large industrial machinery such as mining trucks. Despite the apparent benefits of e-fuels, they aren't without their challenges. At the moment, e-fuels aren't commercially available, and the factories producing them are still in the experimental phase. Porsche has invested approximately £82 million in a synthetic fuel factory in Chile, currently producing 130,000 litres of e-fuel per year, exclusively for powering the aforementioned 911 GT3 racing cars in the Mobile One Super Cup. However, the company has ambitious plans to increase production to 55 million litres per year by 2026, with a target of 10 times that amount by 2028. While this might sound impressive, it's not sufficient to meet the enormous global demand for fuel. To put things into perspective, the USA alone consumes around 115 billion gallons of oil annually. To cater to American demand alone, around 9,600 factories equivalent to the one in Chile would be required. Additionally, e-fuels can only be considered carbon neutral if the electricity used to produce them originates from renewable zero-emission sources. This requirement is the reason behind Porsche's decision to establish its factory in Chile, a location with high wind activity for 270 days a year, sufficient to power wind turbines. However, this could possibly open up opportunities for current major oil producers like the UAE and Saudi Arabia. As the global demand for fossil fuel oil drops, these oil-rich countries could feasibly pivot to e-fuel production using solar energy. The conversation around cars has taken a dramatic turn. Everything's changed. It's now all about EVs and e-fuels. This EU ruling could lead to a scale-up in e-fuel production over the coming decades, ensuring that iconic car brands and manufacturers won't necessarily go extinct if they can't afford to switch entirely to electric cars by 2035. It opens up new possibilities for future developments and provides an alternative for people whose jobs or lifestyles are incompatible with electric cars. And there you have it, an exhilarating glimpse into the future of high-performance vehicles. As we've seen today, hydrogen might just be the key to marrying performance and sustainability, all while promising the familiar thrills of driving that we've all come to love. If you enjoyed today's journey into the world of hydrogen-powered supercars, don't forget to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more automotive insights and stories. From classic models to the latest innovations, we've got it all right here on Ignition Life. Until next time, stay curious, stay enthusiastic, and as always, keep those engines revving.